Third Eye Fitness coming at you guys. So this is going to be a series, meaning I'm going to have multiple videos coming out periodically about this. This is going to be talking about my 2023 cut. So I'm going to start my cut. It's pretty early. We're in like late January right now. I'm trying to get sliced and diced by May. So as you can tell, I give myself plenty of time. Try to make my cuts super gradual. But yeah, each week I'm gonna be putting out a video, kind of giving updates, tips, how I cut weight, how I transition from bulking to cutting, some of the foods that I eat, how my exercises change, etc. So I'm gonna start off by getting at my stats right now. I'm 5'10", for anyone who's wondering, 175 pounds. When you weigh yourself, just a little tip here, try to weigh yourself at the same time each day, because you can fluctuate pretty greatly depending on if you have food in your stomach and how much water you're holding, etc. So I try to weigh myself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, no clothes on, basically as light as I can be. And then every time I weigh myself going forward, it'll be in those same circumstances, same time of day. So I'm 175 pounds right now, and I'm predicting to maybe get as low as 160 pounds. That would be the lowest I would want to go, being shredded, right? So when you cut, you're gonna lose body fat. You're also gonna lose some strength and muscle size. That just comes with the territory being a natty. So here's a few things I'm gonna start with beginning my cut. So I like to start my cut letting diet and nutrition do most of the heavy lifting, meaning I'm not gonna jump in and start doing a bunch of cardio. I save cardio for later in my cut when my body's kind of plateaued from dieting and I don't wanna drop my calories too much more. I will start implementing cardio. Now keep in mind, these are what works for me. I'm making these videos because I feel like I have pretty regular genetics and the average person can probably follow these, but obviously you would want to tinker some stuff based on your lifestyle and your own genetics and how your body operates. So like I said, I like to let diet do most of the work in the beginning, meaning I'm going to slowly decrease my calories. Now I do this very gradually because I give myself plenty of time to cut. I don't need to just drop my calories by 500 a day. I can drop them by even as low as like 50 to 100 calories a day and see what happens over the next few days, and then make adjustments if needed. So I'll probably start off reducing my calories by about 100, nothing crazy. When I'm in a calorie surplus and I'm bulking, trying to put on muscle, I do eat quite a bit. I've been at this a long time, so I'm eating anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 calories a day. Now I know that sounds like a crazy amount. It's also a big range, right? But if I eat 4,000 calories a day, I know I'm in a calorie surplus too. It's just maybe a minuscule one. And if I eat close to 5,000 calories in a day, it's a greater calorie surplus. So not everyone can get away with that. I know that's a lot of food. Sounds like a lot. Like I said, I've been lifting for over 10 years. So I have to kind of push my body to more extreme levels in order to, put on size. Muscle gains come slower the longer you've been at this, right? The newbie gains are far gone. So based on that 4,000 to 5,000 calorie range, I'm gonna, reduce that down to, like as low as 3,800 calories and as high as maybe 4,000 calories. That would be the highest that I would go, which is probably more of a homeostasis state where my body weight doesn't really go up or down. But reducing that from those big 5,000 calorie days should result in weight loss, should result in body fat loss. That's what I'm trying to do here, is lose body fat, hold on to as much muscle as I can. So that's the diet. By doing that, I'm going to just incorporate more nutrient dense foods. So less caloric dense foods such as almond butter, peanut butter, stuff like that that have a lot of calories in them without much volume, and switch over to more nutrient dense foods that maybe have lower calories but higher volume, right? So that would be like vegetables, fruits, lean meats, etc. So I eat salads every day, for enjoyment. I love salads, but my salad portions will probably go up. When I cut weight, especially with nutrition, in the nutrition aspect, I like to cut my carbs first. That's because when I'm in a calorie surplus, my carbs are extremely high. I eat more carbs than any other macronutrient by far. So they're easy for me to kind of cut out, and my carbs will still be high. So my rice, pasta, the high carbohydrate sources, those portions will decrease a bit. Now, I'm not going to be weighing my food during this cut. I've been doing this so long, but I suggest beginners, take a week, a month to track calories just to kind of figure out what's in what, and then you'll get kind of the hang of it. So I'll reduce my carbohydrate sources. I'll up my fruit and vegetable sources, especially the lower calorie fruits. So less bananas. I'll still have my bananas, but more like berries and stuff that, have very little calories, compared to a higher sugar content fruits such as bananas and stuff. So portions will come down a little bit. Carbohydrates will come down a little bit. I'm doing this gradually, guys. And this is how I like to cut. I don't like to cut super, super hard, especially in the beginning. You can get away with losing weight and losing body fat by doing small changes. And especially if you give yourself plenty of time, you can, in my opinion, minimize the muscle loss because you're still keeping your calories relatively high, still keeping your carbs relatively high, and that's the main goal here. We're trying to hold on to as much muscle as we can while doing this. So in terms of training, I will still be working out the same number of days as I did when I was bulking. My volume might start slowly decreasing though. So I might slow down on some of the accessory work, the isolation exercises, and really put most of my energy on the heavy compound lifts. That's because when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is trying to eat away at everything. If you continue to lift heavy, your body will think, okay, I need to hold on to this muscle in order to continue lifting heavy. So the hypertrophy days will decrease during my cut, right? It's kind of a myth that you need to start lifting lighter for higher reps when you're cutting. I think the opposite end of the spectrum is more true. You really want to focus on lifting heavy weight, keeping your strength up, and that will minimize the muscle loss during your cut. So bench press, pull-ups, pull-downs, deadlifts, squats, the heavy compound lifts, those are where the majority of my focus is going to be. And then if I still have energy after that, and I'm not in my cardio phase yet, like I am starting now, I'm not doing cardio now, I will throw in a little accessory work that I feel needed. Get some blood flow in there, some hypertrophy type training. But really the main emphasis is going to be those heavy compound lifts. And as I get deeper in my cut, those will continue to be emphasized and hypertrophy will go down even further. And when I do have extra energy after, heavy compound lifts, I'll probably start doing some cardio. So, in future videos, I'll talk about the type of cardio I like to do. I have different things that I like to do in terms of cardio, both high intensity and low intensity, but we'll get into that when the time comes. For this week, like I said, I'm just dropping my calories a little bit, gradually dropping my calories. Gonna keep trying to get stronger in the gym still. You can still gain some strength when you're just starting your cut because you're not in that much of a deficit yet. You might not put any more size on, but you should be at least being able to maintain the strength levels, the numbers that you're hitting when you're bulking. And as you get deeper in, obviously this will be harder and harder to do, but the goal really is to keep your strength at about the same level as when you're bulking. Now it gets harder and harder as you get deeper into your cut, and some of those numbers will go down. That's part of the game. But we try to minimize that. We try to continue the numbers. So like if you're benching 225 when you're bulking, really try to keep it around there. And if it goes down, try to minimize how much your strength goes down when you're doing those exercises. That's going to help preserve the muscle that you do have and have your body kind of go after other aspects such as body fat. Now, I'm already somewhat lean, probably 12-13%, maybe even as high as 15% body fat. I think people overestimate or underestimate how lean they are. 10%, for example, which a lot of people call themselves, is really lean, guys. That's no love handles for me. You can see all the abs. You can start seeing veins crawling up my body. That's pretty lean. The leanest I've ever been, I'll post some photos, I was probably 8% body fat. Now this is basically stage ready, meaning I could go and compete. Now I probably don't have enough size to hang with these big boys that are that same body fat. But for me and my body, 8% is, you can't really ask to go much leaner unless you're really, really trying to place high in a competition. But 10% for the majority of the population, you're going to be walking around looking freaky. You're going to be walking around looking like, yeah, this person works out, this person takes nutrition seriously. So going from, let's call myself 15%, I want to try to drop about 5 to 6% body fat. So I'm going to implement certain tricks to try to hold on to as much muscle as I can. Like I said, I'm really going to let diet do the work. You'll have to figure out your own caloric needs, but the main takeaway I want to get from this video is when you start your cut, be gradual with it. Those have been the best results for me, as opposed to when I just like flip a switch and all of a sudden cut my calories a lot. Yeah, I get lean, yeah, I lose weight, but I notice that my strength goes down super fast and my muscle, I start losing muscle. And muscle for natties is hard to put on. So I'm trying to minimize the muscle losing process of this. Now when you cut, like I mentioned before, you're always going to lose some muscle. That comes with the territory for us natties. I know it sucks, but we can do things to minimize that. So for me, my best results after bulking and cutting all these years is to gradually cut. Give yourself plenty of time, and try to make small daily changes that you can implement, right? That aren't going to cause you stress or anything too drastic, and go from there. The scale I use as a tool to kind of see if I'm gaining or losing weight, but really I do the eye test, how I look in the mirror. And another tip is how your clothes are fitting. So as you cut deeper and deeper in, your clothes should start fitting a little looser, right? When I'm super shredded, like I was in some of these photos, I don't even look like I lift when I'm fully covered up. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's not till the clothes come off that I'm like, oh yeah, this person works out. That just kind of comes with it. As opposed to when you're bulking, I look like I lift with all the clothes on, even a hoodie and stuff. I look huge, but you take the clothes off and it's just soft, right? There's no definition. For me personally, my vascularity goes away. And even when I'm leaning out, I'm not too vascular. Some of that is just genetics, guys, how your skin is. I'm Greek, Mediterranean, they call us thick-skinned. So, even when I'm super, super lean, I'm not crazy vascular. Some of my other friends of different genetics, they could be higher body fat percentage than me, but actually more vascular. Depends how we hold our fat. Everyone holds fat differently. But yeah, this week, focusing on letting diet do the heavy lifting, minimizing the junk food, right? Pretty much cutting all junk food out. I don't really eat much junk food when I'm bulk anyway, but I'm going to be decreasing my calories gradually as I go on. Like I said, 175 pounds right now, 5'10". I will make another video in about a week, give you guys an update. But, you know, ideally, even if I lost a pound in this week, I'll be happy. I'm just trying to see this go down gradually, guys. It's a game of patience, like I've talked about before. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a week. Appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. If you enjoy this content, please leave comments on what you want to see or any questions you may have. I try to get back to everybody. So, Third Eye Fitness out.